Hello, my name is Aryan Narvekar. That's me smiling and waving, and this is my conics project. So, right off, I'm just going to scroll through it and show that everything is indeed in R equals whatever theta form to show that it's all completely polar. And I'll start off by highlighting where I use the parabola. So, I use the parabola in the A right there as I'm showcasing and zooming in, taking off the restriction. It clearly shows a parabola. Re-put the restriction and now move on to the ellipse and the circle, which are both contained in the R. So that shows an ellipse and that shows a circle. You can see that there's a slight difference in the actual shape of them. So they both are contained inside of the R itself. And this was actually the most difficult part, was finding out the polar form of the hyperbola. It was mostly the numbers that threw me off. And this is just kind of the proof that this is the hyperbola. So like before, I'm just going to take off the restriction and show that it's clearly a hyperbola, not a like reused parabola. So there it is. It was mainly the hardest part because it did contain such big numbers, and it took me a little bit of time to find out that I just had to use the same theorem that we used before, the quadratic formula, but otherwise it was fun. I also want to highlight a weird complication that I had with the y in creating straight lines. So when I was creating a straight line, like the polar form didn't show on the thing, even though it shows that it's a valid equation. It didn't show on the thing, so just for like aesthetics, I kept it in its like semi-rectangular form, with the restrictions still in rectangular. But I do have the converted version still there, but it just doesn't show for some reason. So I just left both there for aesthetic